There are more than 10,000 pawn stores in the United States, a number that has increased by more than 50% since just 2007. Rick Harrison is the co-owner of the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop and star, just one of them, of the History Channel's hit show Pawn Stars. He's got an inside look for us at how pawn stores are performing throughout the recession and afterward. We welcome you here. I got to tell you, I love when I come into your show. You know, I'll click through the channels. I'll stop there. You had a guy on recently who thought he had an ejector seat from a World War II fighter, and you had to point out to him, no, this thing is probably vintage 1980s or better. You got to be having a lot of fun. But who's making money, you or the people who are bringing you stuff?
A little bit of everybody. I guess it's because of my show and a few other shows like it. There's been a few shows that copied it. But people are beginning to realize you can go out there and maybe find stuff at yard sales, in the attic, and a few things like that. You can make a little money doing that. And as far as the pawn industry is going, it's tough to say. I talk to a lot of guys with shops where, like in Southern California, and they feel as if they're just getting way too much stuff. And the retail's not there at the moment. They're actually taking in more than they're selling.
You know, Pawn Stars, obviously, I don't have to tell you, Rick, has had tremendous success. But at the core, you're a small business owner, right? And you've been quite vocal about government regulation, tax policy, and how it's really hurt small business owners in this country, right? What do you want to see done to improve the situation?
Basically, instead of making new regulations constantly, I believe there's over 100 new pages of regulations every week just on Obamacare. What we need to do is just less regulation and let small business do small business. In the 1980s, I opened up a lot of small businesses. It would take me 2 or 3 days, I'd have a business license in my hand. Nowadays, you know, I know in California, here, and a lot of other states, it takes months. And you have that small guy who risks everything he's got to, you know, live the American dream, open up his own small business. And once they see what they have to do, they can't.
Rick, you talk about taking several months in California. Here in New York, it's several months plus the first of several bribes just to get the things in place. Let me ask you, 30 million Americans, you know, 30 million Americans will go to a pawn store annually, and that number seems to be growing. Is that a reflection of a bad economy, or is that, you know, I got a bunch of junk that I really should get rid of, and should I be considering coming to a place like yours?
There's two reasons. One of the reasons is the economy is why a lot more people are coming. And television shows like mine are realizing it's not that bad of a thing. Pawn shops, believe it or not, were the #1 form of consumer credit in the United States up until the 1950s. They were always been a part of just about every culture on the planet. And people are more or less rediscovering them. We were vilified by Hollywood in the 1960s, 1970s, and 80s. And I think that's turning around. There's good pawn shops, there's bad pawn shops. Mine's the best.
Of course, but of course.
I've seen the line in front. I mean, you're downtown Vegas, and just to get in there, I think I wouldn't wait in line simply because I'm in it for the food. But
Stop.
It's a great story.
Rick, I wanted to ask if you guys do the collateral loans as well. I was looking at some research. On national average, a typical pawn loan is less than $150 for 30 days, and over 85% of all of those loans are repaid. Are you in that business as well? And what can you tell us about that industry?
Well, a collateral loan is a pawn. That's where someone brings me a piece of property. I loan them money against it. They, they can come back in at my shop within 90 days, pay back their principal, plus some interest, and walk away. If they don't pay it off, I keep the merchandise, and there's no bad credit or anything like that. It's the simplest form of banking.
But that dollar value, $150, that really, it just seems like not a whole lot of money, actually. I mean, are people really in that situation facing those dire straits that they're just willing to get rid of whatever they can, even if it means a small amount of money that's really just going to, you know, be that bridge for a couple of weeks?
Well, you have to realize it's right around 20% of the people in the United States do not have a credit card, a bank account, cannot get a bank account. They have absolutely no other means of getting by. I mean, if you're at the end of the month and there's a single mom who didn't get a child support check and she's $50 or $100 short on rent or needs to buy groceries or something like that, they come to a pawn shop.
So, Rick, let me ask you, I loved the segment. I think it was a Suicide Door 63 Lincoln Continental. Your father, I think, was in love with the car. Any surprises coming up this season?
Oh, yeah.
We just signed for another 80 episodes. So there's going to be a lot of there's a lot of stuff. I have everything from Williams Jennings Bryan to the Apollo program. A little bit of everything. The show has been so successful, it's sort of feeding on itself. We get emails and letters and everything else from hundreds of people every day that want to get on the show. So we get to more or less pick and choose what we're going to get, and we just more interesting and weird.
Weird.
I like the weird.
Yeah, I think more appetizing than, what is it, the PBS What's It Worth Roadshow thing. But it's great to have you here.
Antiques Roadshow. Antiques Roadshow. Which is another favorite.
Rick Harrison, we really appreciate your being here. All the best to you, and good luck with the upcoming season.